Brought to you by Penguin.
Is Free Speech Under Threat? Written and read by Suzanne Nossel and Charlotte Lydia Riley.
Is free speech under threat? During the 2023-24 school year, many of the United States' most prestigious universities erupted. The protests, chants, encampments, and confrontations centered on the war between Israel and Hamas. But they also implicated tensions closer to home. Slogans like "From the River to the Sea" or "Intifada Revolution" were heard by some as an empowering rallying cry for Palestinian solidarity, and by others as a call for ethnic elimination of Jews. To some, the encampments were part of a noble tradition of valiant protest, harking back to the Vietnam War and the anti-apartheid movement focused on South Africa. To others, they were a menacing manifestation of rising foreign influence involving off-campus movements paid to radicalize American youth. To some, the protests were an impassioned plea to save innocent lives, foster peace, and elevate the sanctity of humanity. To others, they were an effort to delegitimize and demonize a vulnerable people, paving the way towards their annihilation. The protests brought into view and deepened a crisis of confidence in the bedrock American precept enshrined in nearly 100 years of jurisprudence on the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution that even the most controversial and provocative speech merits protection, and that the best answer to noxious speech is refutation through more speech. Some claim that efforts to curtail the largely peaceful protests were a betrayal of free speech precepts, a form of viewpoint-based repression aimed to silence dissident perspectives. Others argued that enforcing university restrictions on when, where, and how protests could be carried out was simply a way to safeguard the rights of all and prevent disruption to the essential functions of the campus as a place for teaching and learning. Off-campus forces, whether wealthy donors or well-resourced international advocacy campaigns, were blamed for illegitimately skewing the debates. Students and faculty argued that rules governing who could speak and when were being applied unfairly. Some said pro-Palestinian speech was being unjustly targeted, while others argued that Jewish students were being subjected to hateful speech that would not be tolerated were it directed towards other historically marginalized groups. The disputes were exacerbated by outdated university policies, including regulations that were on the books but had long gone unenforced. Leaders and administrators were flummoxed over how to uphold free speech rights without allowing their campuses to become places of menace and intimidation for certain students. Age-old traumas on all sides bred heightened ardor and intensified feelings of vulnerability. Meanwhile, students on many campuses reported that actual debate on the history, consequences, or moral weight of the Israel-Hamas conflict was all but impossible. Classmates were afraid to voice their views except in sheltered enclaves of the like-minded. Seminar room discussions were stilted for fear of offending someone, or, worse still, being captured in a viral video that could haunt a future career. The uproar fueled the resignations of the presidents of Harvard and the University of Pennsylvania, the withdrawal of hundreds of millions of dollars in donations to leading colleges, the initiation of congressional and state legislative investigations, multiple probes by state and federal civil rights agencies, lawsuits accusing leading universities of turning a blind eye to bigotry and harassment, and complaints to educational accreditation agencies. Meanwhile, similar student movements, including solidarity encampments, began popping up on campuses around the world. At Trinity College in Dublin, Lausanne University in Switzerland.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?